Hi guys, Zach here with another Command & Conquer Red Alert video. In this game I'm playing a 3v3 match on the map, the Lake District. I'm starting in the middle right position, playing as the Soviets. Now I've just picked random nations, so I'm Ukraine in this. And first of all I'm going to be building some infantry, do a little bit of scouting. The map we're playing on, the Lake District, has a big lake in the middle, hence the name. And it has entry points at the bottom of the map and at the top of the map, so I'm in sort of like quite a safe position at the start because I'm right in the middle where there's no entry points across the middle of the map unless you're going to build naval yards and transporters. Of course that's not going to usually happen, so I'm quite safe for the time being and just taking some infantry down. Now what I've noticed is red doesn't seem to have any infantry at the moment, and that's the first thing you want to build in that position. He's got an ore refinery though, so it looks like he skipped the barracks entirely, and that's not possibly a good idea. And you can see those yellow infantry going down. Fortunately we're being able to get our infantry in position quick enough. And now I'm just getting my war factory out and gonna go for like one ore truck, and then I'm gonna start building some tanks. And we can see there's some orange infantry there going through, but we've been able to destroy them. And it does look like the other team do have quite a few infantry there. And we see red now building a war factory. But this is bad because yellow has a lot of troops. And I just don't have enough to defend at the moment. That's just like quite a big army. And I've building some more infantry, but they have to go from my base. And it's going to take a little while. And unfortunately he's gone into the other base and there's nothing red has to defend. And it looks like he's going to go down unless he builds a flame tower or pillbox. I don't know what. Yeah, he's playing as Soviet, so he needs to build a flame tower. And those he's not got enough tanks to squash those enemy units. And that's his construction yard, which is definitely, I think, going to go down. I've tried to bring as many units as I could to defend, but unfortunately it was just not going to happen. And he's quit the game. He only had 2 tanks left. And, I mean, it's just one of the things you do. You always build a barracks because you could be vulnerable to that early infantry attack if the other player decides to do so. So now we've lost, we're 1 player down. And you can see yellow with some of his light tanks there. I'm just having a little bit of a fight here, trying to take those light tanks down. You can see they've got quite low HP. So when you've got like a similar number of heavy tanks, it does work all right. And now we can see orange coming back to the base. And what we're trying to do now is just take out these tanks. We've managed to take them out quite easy without losing too much. I think I lost 1 heavy tank there, but I managed to take out 3 light tanks, so that was a good trade for me. And I do think these heavy tanks do better in tank-on-tank battles. Now we can see yellow going in again. We also see green has a light tank there as well. And now I think yellow is transitioning to medium tanks, which is probably the optimal choice. And I'm going to have to pull back because I'm getting a bit overwhelmed here with orange, yellow working together. And also that single, I think that single green tank's just, I don't know if it's for scouting or because he must be defending at the top of the map, because I do have another teammate up there. So now I'm going to be pulling back a little bit. We can see those yellow tanks look like they're trying to get to my base. I've built another ore refinery, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get some base defences down, because you can see there's like a narrow gap into my base. And if I can get like, I'm going to get a flame tower first of all, but next I'm going to start building a large power plant, and then I'm going to see if I can get a Tesla coil there, because it would be just so effective in that like narrow gap if I've got some tanks to defend as well. So now we can see the orange and yellow working together. Orange's tanks are quite stationary, so I'm taking them out first because when they're stationary they take more damage. And you can see that yellow's losing some HP on his tanks as well, and we managed to defend it for the time being because it did look like they had definitely had the upper hand there. And I'll just need to be careful. I don't think there's any routes except that narrow gap into my base. I don't know this map like really well though, so there might be some things that happen that I don't expect. But now you can see that Tesla coil is down. That's going to make it harder for the attacking team to attack my base. And there I've made a little bit of a mistake. I need to build a silo to get over that gap before I can start placing that small power plant down. But I'm just going to use this time to group up my tanks. And you can see my tank mass is starting to be quite decent at the moment. We can see that green has a few more tanks. He's taken some more light tanks to the bottom of the map, and we're just trying to take these out while green's napping a little bit. And we've got a really good trade there, taking out all those green tanks without losing too much. And now we're going to push on. You can see that other green tank there stationary as well. And now we're fighting it with yellow. Yellow's using medium tanks, but we've got the better tank mass of heavy tanks at the moment. And heavy tanks are stronger than medium tanks anyway. And now we're going to try and push back. So we've got quite a decent tank mass there, but I'm just going back to my base because I felt something, and we can see that green is attacking me from the other side. So he somehow got through my teammates' defences, so now our teammates starting to send some tanks down. But I've lost a war factory there, so I am going to need to replace that. And now you can see green going for my ore refinery, but those tanks being taken out, and now they're in range of that Tesla coil, so I had to get back there to take care of that. And I'm going to need to build a second war factory once again. And now yellow coming in for the attack, but he's realised that I've no longer got any trouble at my base, and now I can go on the counter attack. So yellow and orange falling back right now, and yellow's just I think falling back to his base because my heavy tank mass has grown quite a bit. And I could only see about 5 yellow tanks one last time, and now I'm going to get my second war factory down once again, which is mean I'm going to be able to build a little bit faster. But yeah, I'm going to need to go for the attack on the bottom bases, and now is probably the ideal opportunity. You can also see all the scenery, all the mess from the tank battles before, and now we're engaging with orange and yellow. Let's see if we can win this fight. Orange is still using light tanks. They're quite easy to take out. You can see they lose health very, very quickly. And yellow with the medium tanks, it still looks like I have the better tank mass at the moment. I'm just being slightly careful, and I'm just having a look at the ore around my base, and it is starting to run out, so I might be heading into a little bit of trouble. You can see yellow's starting to group up and get a bit of a better tank mass once again. So now we'll try and take this fight. What's going to win, the heavy tanks or the medium tanks with the light tanks from orange? And I can just see those ore trucks are going quite a long way. So I think he's running out of ore as well. So now let's see if we can push into the base. And there's a war factory right there. So we'll try and take that out. That'll slow his building speed. So that's one war factory down. And I don't know how many he'll have. He might just have 2 war factories in this. And yeah, I'm going to need some power. You can see my economy isn't doing so great anymore now, because my ore truck's having to go a bit further. And now we're pushing further into yellow's base. I can see another war factory there, so we're going to try and take that out. And that could be the final war factory. I can't see any more around. So now the question is, can yellow build any more tanks? And I'm going to go for that construction yard as well. So our construction yard's down, and I'm going to go for the barracks. And I don't see any other war factories from yellow, so I think that's all the production buildings down. And that means yellow's army's gone now, and they're not going to be able to replace it with any more. And we can see orange coming in with some tanks and infantry, but that's yellow done for. And I can see he stopped moving his ore trucks, so I think he knows it's over. He hasn't got any more units left, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and go up to orange's base. But now I can feel something happening in my own base, and there you can see the green is on the attack. And unfortunately, I'm out of position. I'm going to try and move my construction yard down to the bottom. I'm going to lose my second war factory once again. So I'm back down to 1 war factory. At least I don't think there was that much ore up there anyway. So we'll have to see what's going on up here. Is my teammate still alive? He's still got some buildings. But he does look to be quite, I think he's lost his tank mass. And we're just going to go for the attack on these green tanks. And we've managed to survive so far. We can see yellow now using his ore trucks to block my ore refinery, so I'm going to have to deal with that. And my teammate looks like he's going to be getting taken out. But yeah, I've obviously got other things I need to deal with because if I'm going to build any more tanks, because at the moment Cyan does have better tank numbers than I do. And now you can see orange going in for the attack with his light tanks. And yeah, it looks like there's some more light tanks coming in there. But what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at what happened a bit earlier with my teammate. So, first of all, this was the attack from green. Now, Cyan was a bit out of position with his tanks. He had them a bit forward, and then green sent them right to the top right, and then brought them down from there, so caught him a bit off guard. And you could see him manage to destroy one of his main buildings there. And that was like earlier on where he managed to go into my base. If you remember, I had to go back. and defend against this. And I think they managed to possibly take out an ore refinery there. And you can see orange there with a few tanks. But yeah, I lost a few things there. And that war factory, and that's when I came back. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wind it on a bit, because after this, after Cyan went in and destroyed those tanks and those were finished, a little bit later, Cyan decided he was going to go on the attack. And you can see Cyan here coming from to the top of the map, and he goes to the left. The thing is, in this spot here, there's a bottleneck. So when you put tanks through, you can see you can only fit like 3 tanks in at a time. And because you can only fit a small number of tanks through at once, green gets a lot better trade there. And you've got those pillboxes there doing a lot of damage as well, doing a bit of damage as well. And you can see Cyan's actually not going for tanks, he's going for structures. And the thing is, there's just too many green tanks there, there's too many defences. And he manages to get one structure down, but what happens is he loses his whole tank mass in going for that attack. And he doesn't really do that much damage to green, because green still has a construction yard, he still has war factories, he still has ore refineries. So now green's got an army, and Cyan's army's been completely destroyed. So first of all, he lost a lot of tanks going through the bottleneck, but then he just started attacking structures. And when there's a big tank force there from the other team, that's going to result in your tanks getting wiped out. And you can see now Cyan's built up some more tanks, but it's going to be no match for the green force. Green just has too many tanks, and he does go for the ore refinery first of all, and that stops any more ore coming in, and then he goes and destroys the remaining Cyan army. And what that means is, because he can't collect any more ore, he's not going to be able to build any more tanks. And now, yeah, he could just go for buildings, but I think then he decides to go for my base. So we'll go back to my view now. You can see that green is at the top, and he's just destroying the last of Cyan's buildings. I'm trying to sort of like destroy these yellow ore trucks, which have been very, very annoying, because they're just blocking my ore refineries. And now I've got a second war factory once again. I'm not really sure where to place it, really. I decided to go in my own base and not be too adventurous with that. But you can see now that ore refinery once again. And we can see those tanks there. Now, I left a couple of tanks up there. I shouldn't have really. So I did lose some tanks unnecessarily there. And you can see that yellow ore truck again. And as soon as I go to attack, he tries to move the ore trucks away. Just to like salvage them. Because it's harder to like attack them while they're moving. We might possibly get that. But now you can see orange is on the attack. And my second war factory is going to go down once again, which has been a theme of this game. But we're taking out those orange light tanks. The problem is I'm being attacked at the other side as well by the other team. But I need to obviously destroy these light tanks before I can go to the other side to defend against green's pull back a little bit. I think it's probably going to just destroy my ore trucks up there. But there's not too much I can do with that. And I've probably got enough ore trucks here anyway, because I don't have too much ore left. So we're taking out those orange tanks. And now green looks like he's going to be going in for the... Well, possibly going to go in for the attack. You can see him taking out that ore truck. So I'll just pull these back a little bit. I'm going to lose an ore truck there, but I'm not too bothered about that at this time. And you can see I'm starting to build up ore funds because I've only got one war factory working. But yeah, you can see those green tanks now pulling back. And I've lost my main building there. You can see it being taken out there by that orange light tank, which I missed. I think he did pull it back, but then he came in. And yeah, it's just a losing fight from this. You can see the green's got tanks north. Orange is going to keep on bringing tanks from the south. And there's just no way I'm going to be able to win this. And it is good game. Losing that teammate early on really hurt us. And also when my teammate lost all those tanks, when he piled them into the other player's base. If he'd held them back, then we possibly could have won that, because then he would have been able to defend against that green attack. And then I would have been able to go on to destroy the orange base, which is what I was about to do. But I was attacked by green's tanks. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.